Mission log number 231.
Hardships are there to make us stronger. There is that obstacle. And the fact that that obstacle is there maybe means that I'm not meant to go forward. There is somehow, among spiritual people, there is somehow the idea that everything needs to be super easy. Otherwise, it's not your path. And this, I think it's a big trap because it's not true, actually. It's not true that everything needs to be super easy. Sometimes we meet obstacles in our life, and there's a reason also for that. Sometimes life just tests us to see if our intention is strong enough. And if we give up, then just thinking, oh, it means that that was not meant for me. I was not meant for that goal or that dream. I think it's really a pity.
Welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. Get inspired and live out loud. From love, freedom, and success to having it all. Here's your host, coach, speaker, and shining star, Orion.
Roger, you're looking good.
Hey, welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. This is your host, Orion. I am feeling better today. I'm getting over a cold. Started with a little sniffle, then felt like I had a porcupine in my throat. Then I couldn't breathe because my nose was all stuffy, and then I was coughing like crazy and I couldn't sleep at night. But hey, I'm better now and I'm back. So that's great. If you can still hear in my voice, I'm not 100%, but getting better and better every day. So that's great. I had this incredible conversation with this incredible Italian lady. She's a doctor of psychology. She's been called the Italian Louise Hay, and she's extraordinary and so easy to talk with and super wise. And I really, really enjoyed our connection and conversation and this whole interview. And I think it's going to be really relevant to you because this world is triggering. There is so much division. There is so much separations. People who are for masks, against masks, pro-vaccine, against vaccines, this political side and this political side, and so much division. And we need to remember to treat each other with humanity and to treat each other with love and get rid of this illusion of separation and remember that we are interconnected and nobody's all good, nobody's all bad. Truth has so many faces. And I urge you, when you listen to one truth, always listen to the other side as well. Don't just block yourself and just stay with your truth. Just try to weigh on different opinions and accept them as opinions. Whatever you choose for yourself is great, but always listen to all opinions because then you will get a bigger picture. It's really helpful. So in this world where we get really triggered, and I did that too, I get triggered a lot, especially on social media, and I come across people who are my friends, and they seem to be quite rude, actually, on social media, and rude towards me, and even people that were guests in my wedding, and I say an opinion, and they are not kind on social media. And I was thinking about it today, and I was talking to a service provider, and I told my husband, you know what? I want to do this thing where every time I talk to somebody on social media or in person, and it can be a stranger, I want to talk to them as if they are my family member and as if they are somebody I love and care about, and be kind. Be kind to each other. It's not enough to be all spiritual and think we're holier than thou. It's really important to treat others with genuine kindness and respect. You never know what happened for the other person. You never know what kind of day they had. You don't know, because our words are powerful and we can really affect our surroundings for good or for bad. And it's a ripple effect. If you treat someone unkindly, then he goes on and he or she are mad, and they will treat the people around them unkindly and so on. And the opposite is true too. You do an act of kindness and you make someone smile, and they pay it forward and they make somebody else smile. And in today's world, smiles are a great currency. Never loses its value. Best investment ever. So smile and be kind to each other. Lucia Giovannini is a transformation speaker, author of 13 books, has been defined as the Italian Louise Hay by prestigious media. She crafts a synergy between psychological techniques and ancient rituals that turn her seminars into a profound experience. Lucia is an advocate for animal rights. She lives between Bali, Thailand, and Italy. Never been to Bali, love Thailand, and Italy is so beautiful. When we had this conversation, I'm right now in Israel, she was in Italy, and it was late at night. It was like 11 p.m. for her and midnight for me by the time we finished the interview. So it was really nice. The conversation is about triggers and about this current situation and how we can get centered, how we can find our center in the midst of chaos. And in a following episode, Lucia is going to take you through an experience, through a meditation that will help you with your triggers and will help you with your relationships, with your friends, with everybody around you, with your partner, with your family, with everyone. So that's to come. This episode is going to be the interview, and the following episode after that, and maybe in a couple of weeks, will be the experience, Lucia's experience. And oh my God, this meditation was incredible. I'm sure you're going to have a great time listening to this interview. I'm sure it's going to brighten your day and make you feel better. That's what I want you to feel. I want you to feel better. I want you to feel brighter, and that you'll have the tools to handle whatever is coming your way. And now, without further ado, on to the show.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, Lucia, and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. It's a pleasure and an honor having you here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Orion. I'm super, super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Wow. So you're in Italy right now, and I've been there. I visited Rome 3 times. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Italy is beautiful. Now it's, it's difficult anyway, because it seems we are in the middle of the second wave of COVID. So it's not so fun, especially because there are lots of restrictions, in traveling and everything. So, but I mean, apart from that, Italy is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, Italy is wonderful, and then the people are awesome too. So we're gonna dive in to all of this, like what's going on in Italy right now is going on in so many other countries around the world, and everybody is affected by what's going on, and we're gonna try to raise the frequency here and help people feel better and happier and get a deeper understanding of how to own their own happiness. And before we start, Lucia, can you please share a little bit about yourself and about your passion? How did you become so passionate about what you're teaching?
Yeah, well, I think this kind of, topics has always been my passion since I was a little girl. I remember when I was little being asked by my parents' friends, like, what do you want to do when you're a grown up? And I would say, I want to do something to diminish and possibly eliminate all kind of suffering in the world.
Wow.
Animal suffering, human suffering. And, those people would look at me with like, there's something weird about this little girl, And I used to go around asking lots of questions, but not, normal questions like every kid would ask, like, why is the sky blue or things like that. No, my questions were like, where do we come from? Why are we really here? What's our mission in life? And people would look at me, like, oh, bye-bye, up to a point where my mother said, stop asking any question. Stop asking questions whatsoever. What questions are not polite.
Oh
Just shut up.
no.
Yeah. So I think that since I remember, I've always had this urge in me to do something, about basically reducing suffering and getting back to joy, to happiness, to freedom. But then, of course, the promises you make to yourself when you are a kid, that then you tend to, at least I forgot them in a certain period of my life. Well, I studied psychology and I used to read Jung when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
But then I started, for some coincidences, I started modeling, and I went from a part-time job that was meant just to help to pay my studies. Then it became a full-time job, a full-time career for many, many years. And in those years, I was saying I didn't forget my passion. Instead, it's not entirely true, because I kept on, reading and going to seminars and attending, workshops on spirituality. I kept on meditating and all that. But I got so attracted by that world. And so I used to do vision boards. But the things that I used to put in my vision boards were like, be on the first page or on the cover of Cosmopolitan, of Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, things like that. So all my spiritual dreams and goals were just forgotten in a way. And I lived like that for quite a while. I got married to a dashing man, actually, he was a model himself. All my friends were in the fashion world. So I kind of forgot my beginnings, my call in a way. And then I continued like that until I ended up being depressed. All that glamorous life didn't mean anything after a while. And I woke up every day and I was more and more miserable. And so even if I was making a lot of money, living in a beautiful house, etc., to make a long story short, I ended up giving up everything.
Really?
Yeah, I gave up my marriage. I gave up my house, my beautiful house, to my ex-husband.
Why?
Because I was young and full of sense of guilt. And so,
Oh no. Okay.
yeah. And then I came back to my hometown, Bologna, Italy. And basically, with all that I had left was my big desire to do something to diminish suffering and help people in this sense and help the world in this sense. But in Italy at those times, there wasn't anything about that. I mean, coaching was really non-existent in Italy except for sports coaching. And I didn't, even if I have a degree in psychology, I didn't want to open a practice in psychology because that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people be more in contact with their spiritual mission and help them navigate through life and be more connected to their soul. And so it was a different thing, but it was really something that I had to, in a way, build from scratch. And it wasn't easy because I doubted myself, I doubted my choice so many times. But eventually, that's what I ended up doing. Step by step, it was, as I said, not an easy journey. I ended up giving up basically everything for that. And the first years were really, difficult because my savings were dwindling down very fast and I was not making enough money, not having enough clients. So, on the other side, what I had left was very promising careers.
So if you look back at your younger self today, and you see the young woman who just gave up everything to follow her heart and her desire and her spiritual connection. And she's having a hard time. Like, what would you tell her? Like, was it worth it doing all that? What did you gain?
I gained a lot of peace, I would say, because, even if I was, living, and I'm not saying, the fashion world is a beautiful world. I was traveling, I was meeting a lot of people, I was earning a lot of money, but still, it was not, I was feeling empty. I was feeling I was not making any difference. My voice was not heard, and actually, I wasn't even speaking so much as to make my voice heard. So, I would say to that younger me, version of me, I would definitely say it is worthwhile. Trust your heart, trust that little voice within you. Because the difficult part, I think, at least for me, and I think that's true for many people, is keeping on walking towards that direction, even if you don't have clear picture in front of you, even if you're not sure where you're walking into, what is the end result that you want or that is going to happen. So trust, that was a very important resource that I would definitely advise my younger self to develop.
That's beautiful. Even in my life, I feel like where there were times where I gave up money or safety, I did things that people would think are crazy, but I followed my heart and I followed my intuition, and I struggled too. And I just think it's like when you burn the boats where you don't have anywhere else to go, it's like it gives you so much more passion to follow your dreams, and you think to yourself, I came so far, I gave up so much, I'm not going to give up my dream.
Exactly, precisely. What I think is also important to understand is that hardships are there to make us stronger. I meet lots of people in my workshops, for example, and like when they tell me their transformation stories or the changes that they are going through. For example, they say, yeah, I want this, I feel this is what I want to do in life. But then there is that obstacle. And the fact that that obstacle is there maybe means that I'm not meant to go forward. There is somehow, among spiritual people, there is somehow the idea that everything needs to be super easy. Otherwise, it's not your path. And this, I think, it's a big trap because it's not true, actually. It's not true that everything needs to be super easy. Sometimes we meet obstacles in our life, and there's a reason also for that. Sometimes life just tests us to see if our intention is strong enough. And if we give up, then just thinking, oh, it means that was not meant for me. I was not meant for that goal or that dream. I think it's really a pity.
I don't remember the quote, but I remember hearing something like the reason why God, the creator, put an idea in your mind and gave you a certain dream. Like you have a different dream than your neighbor or your friend or your parents. You have your own dreams. And the reason why those dreams were given to you is because you probably have the capacity to achieve them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another quote that says something, I don't remember it precisely, but it says something around these lines, that God does not give us weights that our shoulders are not able to carry.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. We are all carrying a lot of weight recently because of the way the world is and COVID-19, and we have to deal with so much change. And we have a certain dream and we thought it's going to work a certain way, but now, you cannot travel, you cannot do things, and your some dreams seems further away. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's true. I think that this COVID-19 is teaching us many things. In a way, is a great teacher for us. It's teaching us patience. for everybody because we like feel like, as you said, our dreams are not proceeding, they have been delayed in a way. And then the other thing is that we often feel we are not in control of our life anymore. Because I don't know about you, but here, for example, in Italy, but in Europe in general, they keep on changing the laws, like not every day, but almost.
No, here too. I'm in Israel right now. It's insane. It's pretty
Yeah.
insane. It's insane. Like I never felt so not in control of before COVID-19. There was this illusion of certainty. We thought we had freedom, but now I'm looking at the governments and what they want to force us to do. I'm like, do we really have a democracy? Is there really freedom? Am I I feel like I'm in the Truman Show.
Yeah,
And there's
exactly.
Big Brother looking at me and is ready to pull the curtain and say like, hello, what's going on? This is your new reality. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. It's like being in a movie, like saying,
Yeah.
maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe I'll wake up from, this nightmare. Is it truly happening? It's not possible. Yeah. And we have no more control. Like we were used to a certain kind of freedom, at least, or, apparent freedom, at least, at least you could decide, how to plan your life in the next month, in the next year. And now it's no more possible, actually.
Yeah.
So this forces us to cope with uncertainty. And uncertainty is not a nice position or a comfortable position to be in. Another thing that this COVID is teaching us is how to be grounded and balanced, even when all our certainties are shattered, are destroyed in a way. And the other thing is, there are lots of energies that come up. Another thing, for example, and again, this is happening a lot here in Europe, in Italy too, and I don't know about where you are, but we are divided, like pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, pro this, anti-that.
I've never seen such division in my life. I mean, we live in Los Angeles and we came here a few months ago to be with my family and we're going to go back to the US. But I mean, before I left, the US is so divided.
Yeah.
White, black, blue, red.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there is a force that is dividing us and like a mischievous is a good word for that. Like this force that wants to divide us, and family members don't talk to each other because of political opinions or, like you said, pro-mask and anti-mask, pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine. I mean, like, how do you navigate all this? And especially me, I listen to, I don't listen to mainstream media. I listen to other channels. It's really hard for me myself to wrap my head around everything that's going on, and some days to keep center.
Yeah, well, for me it's the same. I don't even own a television. I don't watch it, television, and so I mean this is since 20 years ago. I just got rid of television, and I'm just watching news from alternative channels. But of course, I mean here in Italy, everybody is in front of the TV from morning to evening, and they watch the government media.
And they are watching programs being programmed.
Yes. And so what happens is, and the same, I mean, I normally live part of the year in Italy and the rest of the year between Thailand and Bali.
Wow.
I was in Thailand until September, and then I came here to Italy late September because I had some workshops planned here and I wanted for them to happen because people they needed so much, like to come together. And so luckily I was able to do this live workshops. And then we had the second wave. So now it's not possible anymore. But anyway, normally with people who come to my workshops or my readers are, more into, alternative media and so on and so forth. But even with them and with friends here or in Thailand. Thailand is divided not only because of the vaccine, but also because they have, the government, pro-government, anti-government. That there's a rebellion going on there.
It happens here too. It happens. It's like the same freaking program every freaking country all over the world. It is such a brilliant plan. It's like every country. It's the same stuff is going on. It's so weird. How can it be so accurate in every country? Same division, even they even say in the news the same thing.
Yeah. For me, it's really, really weird. Like, I can't help thinking that there's a higher plan somehow going on or orchestrating all this. But by higher, I don't mean divine plan. I mean by a kind of hierarchy or, people behind this because it's happening all over the world or almost all over the world. And so for example, I a few days ago, I sent some links to some interviews that go against the mainstream information about vaccines and so on and so forth. And I sent it to some friends of mine, and they had a very strong reaction, like, don't dare to send us these things. These things are evil. And I mean, I respect everybody's opinion because I think that everybody needs to be free to have his or her own opinion. But at the same time, when you offer an alternative point of view, why is it that people get so inflamed and so, ready to fight one against the other?
Yeah. So how do you keep, if you feel like you're more, I guess, awakened, I would call you more awakened. You respect all perspectives, but you see people are having a very strong reaction to what you have to tell them. It's like, I feel like some people don't want to hear, don't want to even listen, don't want to see. They just want to, they just go with the blinds on. And if you say something that is a little bit different than what they think, they go nuts. I think everybody's getting triggered really quickly these days because of what's going on. So how do you keep center? What do you do every day to keep center, to keep a higher vibration, to keep a stronger connection to your creator, to keep the vision of your dream and focus on that regardless of the storm that is happening outside?
Yeah, so I wake up in the morning and first thing I do some breathing exercises, some pranayama exercises, and then some yoga. Not longer, like half an hour. And when I have time, I do more. But other than that, I mean, if I have a busy day, it's just half an hour between yoga, 20 minutes yoga, 10 minutes of breathing exercise. And then I do my meditation, which again is 15 minutes to 20 minutes maximum. And then some days when I feel I need more, I do more. But my basic meditation is no longer than that. And then I walk with my dog. I do that every day because here in Italy, I live in a flat with no garden. So I'm forced to do that because he really needs it. So I normally walk. I have a very beautiful park near where I live. And so I walk for an hour or so in nature. And that also helps me a lot because I think that nature is really a fantastic, how can I put it, a womb where I really see it as Mother Nature, like a motherly figure that is there for us to hold us and to absorb all our worries and pains and negativity and fears, and so that we can go on with our life much lighter. And so after that, I come back home, I have my breakfast, which normally is around, or I work a little bit until my breakfast is around noon, because I do intermittent fasting. Last time I eat in the afternoon is from around 5 p.m., maximum 5:30, and then next time is around noon. So I do
intermittent fasting in between meals, and I have about 24 meals a day. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I think, intermittent fasting is helping me a lot, especially in the morning with, my meditation and my yoga, etc., because it keeps my mind clearer and more focused. And anyway, I'm vegan, and so I never had, like, I usually have light meals. But anyway, after that, I start working. And so normally I start working from like 12:30 or 1 o'clock, and then to about 5 o'clock, where I eat. And then after eating, after dinner, I have another walk with my dog, a shorter one, and then normally I work a little bit more if I need to work, or I read, or I have, interviews, depending on the day. And now I don't see my friends, because here in Italy it has become basically impossible.
Wow.
Sometimes.
Yeah. That must be so difficult. Like, I mean.
Yeah, it is.
It's so freaking difficult. Is there any practices that you do to, like, if somebody's here listening to you and they feel alone and they feel fearful of what's going on, what will be your advice to help them deal with those emotions?
Yeah, well, journaling is a fantastic practice. Just the idea of becoming aware of your emotions, naming your emotions, is super helpful in just observing your emotions without needing to stop your emotions, but you just let them pass, basically, like if they were a wave in the ocean. And so naming them, writing about how you feel, writing on a piece of paper all your fears, all your pains. Another very, very beautiful practice, if you have the possibility to go out in nature, is bring your notepad with you, write about, again, journaling, write about your fears, your pains, etc. But then take a little stick, like a wooden stick, or you can also use your hands, and just dig in the earth a little bit, and like talk to Mother Earth. And the idea is give all your burdens and offer your burdens and your pains to Mother Earth. And then it is already something very useful. But if you want to make a ritual out of it, bring some seeds, some flower seeds with you. After you basically discharge your burdens and offer them to Mother Earth by digging, a kind of hole where you energetically put all your fears and pains. Then you plant a few seeds and you cover them, and then you let nature do the rest.
And when you do that, don't you, like, is it okay to give your burdens to Mother Earth? Will it not, like, affect her?
No, it won't. No, it won't affect her, because Mother Earth, in that sense, has a very powerful transformational capacities. And then if you offer, like traditionally you could offer like your hair, just one small hair, or you could offer some tobacco, or you could offer some flower seeds. In that sense, you offer something beautiful to Mother Earth.
That's beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much. This is amazing. And I really, really appreciate talking to you. If people want to know more about you, get your books. I know you have 14 books. You have this new book that just came out in Italian for now, and probably will be translated into English. Where can they reach you, find you, learn more about you?
Yeah, they can find me at my website, www.luciagiovannini.com. is LuciaGiovannini.com. And of course, also on my social media, Instagram, same name, Lucia Giovannini, official Facebook page, Lucia Giovannini, or LinkedIn.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate our conversation today. And I know that we're going to have an upcoming chapter where you're going to guide our audience in the process. So that's to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Orion. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you. And thank you, listeners. Remember to connect to Mother Earth, go into nature, have some kind of a morning ritual, move your body and do some good breathing and condition your mind for the day so you feel guided and protected and are more centered to navigate this crazy world we're living in and have a stellar life.
Thank you for joining me on my mission to light people up and change lives around the world. I hope today's conversation inspires you to step up, go after the life of your dreams, and be who you want to be. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go to stellarlifepodcast.com for show notes, transcripts, and other cool stuff. And please subscribe, review, and help spread the word by sharing us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a lovely day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.